back to Socially Served. I'm your host, Frank Sroka, and today joining me is Anne-Marie Cole from the Hillcrest Business Solutions organization.
Hello.
And, hi, Annie. How are you?
How are you doing today, Frank?
Good.
Good.
And today's show, basically what we would like to do is to be a little bit more inclusive into the community. And the reason why I asked Anne-Marie to join me today is because we feel it's really important to outreach to the Francophone community. So Anne-Marie has a very good history in terms of social services in the community. She's been involved in a lot of projects, and today we're going to speak to her about employment initiatives and services that are available in the community for Francophones. And we're actually going to be speaking and dialoguing and in terms of French responses so that we can sort of ease in and transition into this initiative. So Anne-Marie, I just wanted to speak to you a little bit about your experience in the social service community. Maybe you can tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, well, my background is about 25-30 years in the disability services community. I spent a number of years in the not-for-profit sector. About 7 years ago, I decided to start my own small consulting business on the premise of only employing people with disabilities or barriers to employment. I really felt strongly that the small business community could be the forefront or the forerunners in dispelling a lot of the mythology around hiring people with disabilities and barriers to employment. And I made a personal commitment to do that. It's been 7 years running, and so far we're still going. So I hope we'll get another 7 years out of that, Frank.
No, I'm sure you will. And for, I guess, as part of sort of our mandate with Socially Served, we're also trying to outreach into the Francophone community because there are services there that are available, but often individuals don't know what's available to them. So one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was sort of this first initiative that you've come up with in terms of servicing the community at large with a business initiative called Bo Boxes.
Yeah, I'd be excited to talk about Bo Boxes. After 7 years of being in the service industry with small business providers, we decided that we would expand the business operation and go into a more retail type production style. And we came up with the concept that we would, which I won't share with you today because I'd like to keep it a bit of a mystery, but a production retail concept, an e-commerce business that would also cater to only hiring people with barriers with disabilities, and at the same time kind of dispelling the mythology around persons with barriers to employment. Bo Boxes is going to be a very special project. It'll be completely run by people with barriers to employment, right from conception to final production, sales, and delivery of product. So I'm really excited that on a future episode we'll be able to bring a sample of the boxes and talk a little bit more in depth about how that piece is going to be adapted to the community and how we can use that piece to kind of educate and promote and bring awareness to people about the value of people with barriers to employment.
Excellent. Now we're just going to break for a commercial and we'll be right back, so don't go anywhere, and we'll talk a little bit more about the Bo Boxes initiative and about our services in French that we're going to be speaking about shortly. Thanks, Anne.
Equitech Employment Equity Solutions is Canada's #1 subscription-based outreach provider. Equitech's outreach network takes your employment posting and job information and distributes it directly to over 800 outreach partners nationally. Driving the qualified candidates you're looking for right to your door. So why not connect to the largest diversity broadcast portal and be a part of Equitech's diverse and comprehensive outreach strategy today. Check us out at www.equitech.ca. Socially Served is sponsored by Equitech Employment Equity Solutions.
Welcome back to Socially Served, and with my guest Anne-Marie Cole from Hillcrest Business Solutions. And we're here to talk a little bit about a unique business initiative called Bo Boxes. And Anne-Marie, I just wanted you to maybe elaborate a little bit about this project and what it means to the community and how people can get involved.
Okay, so for the last 7 years I've been running a small service business, servicing businesses with a variety of services, and it's been fairly successful. I'm happy with the results. We have used the opportunity to employ 95% capacity persons with disabilities, and we've had great success with that. Unfortunately, not everybody can build websites, not everybody can do social media, not everybody can do bookkeeping. So we came up with the concept of how to create opportunities for people with barriers to employment in a more sort of production, task-oriented setting.
Excellent.
I've always had the mission to come up with a gift box concept, which would kind of, how shall we say, outdo all the other gift basket
Excellent.
companies.
Good, I'd like to hear that.
And maybe at the same time do something that's eco-friendly, that's sustainable, that supports local business enterprise, that's fair trade, that's ecologically sound, and at the same time fulfill my personal mandate, which is to employ as many people with barriers to disabilities. So this initiative is going to be totally focused 100% now on persons with disabilities. We're going to have a variety of jobs, all the way from entry-level positions to sort of more high-functioning positions, which might include management, supervising, sales, recruitment, developing business relationships with some of the local suppliers of products. We're going to have a huge production team, so the boxes are going to be produced raw, and then they're going to be stained, they're going to be painted, they're going to be branded, they're going to be loaded up with great, really unique, highly well-sourced products to go inside the boxes. They'll be beautifully wrapped, and of course our delivery service is also going to be done by persons with disabilities. So the entire initiative is designed to not only deliver a beautiful, beautiful product, but to dispel the mythology that people with barriers to employment can't make amazingly gorgeous product.
Well, that's amazing, and I just can't wait to actually, interesting enough, this is such a innovative type of project, and it's nice that you've kind of correlated sort of the work experience component into it, you know?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I really feel strongly that when people see these boxes completed, the whole idea of this is that when you buy the box to give it away as a gift, you're going to be resentful you have to give it away. You're going to want to keep that box for yourself. That's what we're going for. That's what we're aiming for.
That's perfect.
The fact that disabled people made it and put it together is nothing short of a bonus. I just really feel strongly that, you know, if we're going to talk about AOTA, accessibility, it's great to talk about corporations and big job hires, but they all have a mandate. You know, they have to do it. They're obligated by law. What about the small business entrepreneur who is the guy who, or the woman who can access, you know, decision-making almost instantly and can decide to hire people with barriers to employment? And I'm here to tell you, you know, it's usually a very small accommodation you have to make as an employer to get somebody at their peak performance, giving you the best possible service for a wage that you can get. So this is my experience, and I want to support and promote persons with disabilities to the entire small business community in Toronto. And that includes, you know, all the business leadership networks as well. Don't forget to hire your disabled person because they're living in your community. They're looking for a job in your community. You have the capacity to change someone's life and to educate the public.
That's terrific. And Annie, that's such a great endorsement too for persons with disability barriers, because it really isn't, the only barriers that are there are what people put up against. Right?
That's right. I mean, how many of you have seen that beautiful little stopgap ramp that's in front of 100 doorways? Something as simple as a plywood ramp that, you know, makes accessibility for someone who has a mobility issue just changes their life. Not to mention that, you know, we haven't even talked about return on investment. There's this whole, you know, part of the economy that none of the small business operators have figured out how to tap into yet. So let's talk a little bit about that on another episode. How can we turn the idea of, you know, tapping into the economy? You know, people with disabilities have disposable incomes. Sometimes they have 4 or 5 people in their households who also have disposable income. Where are those people spending their money? If it's not in your operation, then you should be asking that question.
Absolutely. So actually, we're going to actually go on location to your facility, and we're going to highlight some of the wonderful blue boxes of the products and speak to some of your staff. So we're going to do that right now, and we'll be back after our visit to your location.
Okay, au revoir.
My name is June Ann Pratt. How I became involved with Bow Boxes is Annie, she showed me the products at first, and she showed me the box. The box, incredible, vintage, very vintage, 1930s, 1940s, and I got all excited. I thought it was my project. I just got all excited. I said, "My goodness!" And she couldn't get the name and everything. Finally, a friend came up with a vintage style, which you see on the box now, and it just kind of happened. Put the wood with the vintage part of the naming, and it couldn't have box in it, but it had to be something that think outside of the box, and it just became what you see. But when you look at it, you see box, but you don't see what you're seeing. If you know what I mean.
So,
but it's there though.
So thinking
vintage.
Outside.
Thinking outside of the box. Basically, that's what it came out to be.
So part of your role is, tell me a little bit about your role sourcing products.
Out in the community, introducing people to what the vintage boxes are all about. Doing with the supplies, the background of the supplies, hands-on with the work, which she gives to me. There's cleanup as well, but the basic part of it is putting bits and pieces of each one of what we're doing with it. So I get the process in my head, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and sometimes we skip, but mostly we'll do what we and we're learning. It's a learning process as well. So.
And so when you're saying it's personalized, so could someone come and ask for a specific type of box for a specific occasion, a specific person?
Yes.
That's the idea, right?
Yes, it is. So one personalized box I've seen already. Golf club, a mini golf club, golf ball, anything to do with a man who loves golf, that's personalized within that box. Perfect. And I've seen that. Said that it's about time somebody comes up with that, and that's her vintage personalized box, which nobody can come up with. And other things like a woman wedding, or if it's for a teenager, birthday party, that's another one. Special needs or autism, anything that could be, I think you know what I'm getting at, yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm excited because it's personalized. That's the main thing. So
how do you customize an order? Somebody call in and say this is like a gift box for
you could request for personalized if certain things that you want in the box, we could put it in there for you, and or essential or anything to add to it or take out, small or big, based on what the size of the box, and just special requests we do, fill for. Yeah.
Perfect. So about the box, it's so unique. That's a gift in itself, right?
That's I said, think outside of the box. I said I didn't see it until it goes, June, the labeling's it's ready. I said, oh, it's right there. You're looking at this thing outside, and when you look at it, you're just looking at the picture, but you've got to look at it really good in order to see what it's about. So you're inside, but it gives you that vintage detail.
So when you use all the products in the box, you're left with the box, but the box is usable. That's right. Like you can use that.
You can use that box for whatever, for anything. You could take it with you. You can throw it around. It's wood, so it's worth you taking with you, right? You can a child could take crayons, all of their goodies with them, or their own personalized things with them. So yeah, that's what, and that's how she made. That's why I'm saying that is her baby. That's why I get so excited. She calls me Sunshine about that, but it's the truth. I'm really, really happy with her with this. It's really nice.
Well, she's lucky to have you on board.
I'm very, very excited. I'm very happy to be with her, especially with me being on disability, and this represents what this is all about, because nobody represents us, and I happen to be that representation of the person who's outside the box, but inside now people get to see who we really are.
And you feel you're learning some skills, you're upgrading?
Everything. With the Microsoft, I've gone to Ryerson, and I'm just basically upgrading now in my early 50s, and it's all worth it. It's really worth it. It's really worth it. So
you're utilizing the skills you already have to kind of apply them to this new role that you have, right?
It's a smaller role, but it's big at the same time. It's small, so she's given me a lot of space to kind of be myself, to do what I have to all my skills that are just picking everything back again. That's the best way I could put it.
One last thing to say about the company, about the organization, anything you'd like to say?
Excellent. Purchase, please get one of these. You see how excited my face just lights up. It's really nice, personalized, vintage, 1930s, 1940s style. It doesn't match anything else out there. It's one of a kind. It's
a Beau Box.
Thank you. I think you get me. It's just right. I can't stop smiling just because it's nice. I really enjoy it.
Terrific.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
Bonjour and welcome back.
Bonjour.
Annie, that was an amazing facility. I love the products that you're doing. I love just what you're doing. The whole concept is just fantastic. So I'm so glad we'll be able to feature that.
Thank you for coming to our operation and watching us try to assemble these amazing gift boxes.
And so before the end of the show, we're going to actually put up the information where people can start to do their ordering.
That's exciting.
And so that number will come up at the end of the show. And now I just want to talk a little bit about services that are upcoming in the community and talk a little bit about what's available to the Francophone community.
Well, bonjour. Bienvenue à la première émission de Socialement Servi. We are now going to be functioning en français pour tout le monde. So Frank, thank you for inviting me to speak in French. I know that in Toronto we have a large Francophone community, which is an interesting community, by the way, because we're so diverse. You know, we're coming from all over the world. And I don't see a lot of resources out there tapped in for that Francophone community. So I'm really excited that the Disability Channel is now going to do a segment of Socially Served en français, socialement servi. Bonjour, bienvenue tout le monde.
And you're excited, I'm excited. So I'm going to start learning as well as an Anglophone. Obviously my French is limited. Shouldn't be, but this is why we were encouraging to be inclusive and bring everybody in into the Disability Channel. It's highlighting this. This is fantastic. So I'm really pleased to have you on board, and perhaps also as a co-host for Socially Served. So this is going to be really exciting.
Well, thank you very much, Frank. I don't know how I'm going to do there, but we're going to give it our best shot. The idea is to start tapping into the community and get as many Francophone service providers on board as humanly possible and bring education and awareness to the entire Toronto community. You know, IOTA, our legislation is upon us. We have no time to waste. January 2017, the deadlines are starting for compliance. So if you're not complying, you're going to be in a situation where you're going to need to access services. That's what we're here for. We're here to share with the disability community and the non-disability community what's going on out there in the world of disability.
Absolutely. En français?
En français, tout le monde. Alors, bonjour tout le monde, bienvenue encore une fois. À la prochaine émission, nous allons faire toute une émission complètement en français. J'ai aucune idée qui va être là, mais à la prochaine émission, on vous va faire une introduction à quelqu'un qui va être capable de vous parler en français et vous donner une émission au sujet de tous les services qui sont à Toronto. Merci.
Well, thank you, Annie. Thank you for joining us on Socially Served. It's been such a pleasure. And thank you for highlighting the Beau Boxes. And that information is coming up next. And thank you, viewers, for joining us today. And we'll see you again on Socially Served.
Au revoir tout le monde. Passez une bonne journée. Thank you, Frank.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.